What's up everyone, this is Scher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna make a full review out of the GLEX Romancing Saga Minstrel Song banner. Yeah, celebrating the launch of the game we have 3 global exclusives. Diana, a happier user with support, and she's gonna be very strong for remembrance, hard challenges. Then Darque, a happier user that does pierce and shadow damage, a damage specialist that benefits from having his past style, and Neidhart, a tank that can block damage and gives defense up to the party. I believe that Diana and Darque are the most interesting characters. These two will be useful for veterans, although I don't know if they will add as much for newcomers, because we have banners with 10% rates. Some of the newcomers may focus there. But let's start talking about Diana. She gives the name to the banner. We have 5 different styles of Diana in the game. Well, one A style, that is Platinum. Then we got a special S version from a limited event. Then we got an S style for Platinum as well. And there is a double S style for Platinum. This is the last time we got a useful Diana in some sorts. And then now we have Searching for My Brother, the limited style. The good thing is that it's easy to get all the other versions of her, so if you want to inherit something. But it doesn't make much sense to compare the status. As you can see, the Platinum is kind of old. We have much higher dexterity, a little higher agility, higher intelligence, higher will, higher status for all different demands. Diana is a boss specialist. She has party buffs, and it's actually a lot of different things on the same character. She doesn't have high endurance, it actually has only 60%, but there are plenty of support units with low endurance. It just kinda makes sense for their design, but her will is actually okay on 82%. She has arrows for dexterity and love, and even bonuses for those. She can do some okayish damage, and love is needed because she can also heal. So the other status distribution is just average. They wanted to give her some intelligence because she can inherit stuff for instant kill or status ailments, so that's why. And if you want to farm more endurance, you can use her A style. If you want more agility, you can use her Platinum one. Let's get back here. For passives, we have Energy Recovery 1. This one on the end of a turn grants her 1 BP and will also heal her for a very small amount. That should be around 160, and this BP helps her get into interesting cycles because of the cost of her skills, so we talk more about this later. The second one is called Attribute Boost 1 All. She gets 5% boost to all of her status and will also recover HP on the start of a turn. It's good because it's before she attacks. She gets 5% before she deals damage. 5% is not much. When you have 4 turns of decay, you actually only have close to 10% buff at all times, but it does help reducing a little of the damage by buffing endurance and will. Now the last one is called High Protect Tension, so she gets 20% damage passives and reduces all damage she receives by 30%. So what we have here, a character has 4 BP per turn, heals on the start of a turn and then on the end of a turn for around 300 or more, and decreases damage received by 30%. That is the most important aspect of Diana, and we'll talk a lot about this. There's also 20% damage increase and a status buff, so it tries to cover many different things, so it doesn't make her a very strong damage dealer, but you know, this is actually very good design. Let's move on to the skills first. Wild Rose is a spell, kinda, uses 2 BP and 1 LP, and it will heal the target's HP. This one will increase as you level up, and right now on level 1 it's healing for around 1.5k. That's actually almost enough to get a character from 0 to max. I suppose it should reach max if you level it up to 99. The good thing is that it's fast, so depending on situations, if you need to just heal someone before it dies, you can, but it's not as good for Tiger's Den formation, because if you go before your boss, you don't get the formation bonus that reduces damage, so much better for older formations. Then the second one is called the 100 Lotus. This one is 7 VP and it hits 2 times with C power and 18 mod. It's the only attack that she has by herself that does damage. It's actually okay-ish. I believe it's just so that in that moment that you need to do something on overdrive and you always holding up at least 8 BP and you know that you're going to kill the boss. So instead of using a support skill, you're going to do damage. That's the reason why she has this. It also applies instant kill. Her intelligence is actually pretty good, so 2 hits of instant kill with low chance. It won't instant kill targets with resistance with ease, but those without it will work. But the problem is that right now in the game, there's no many content where this works. In the past, in Conquest, you could farm a node where there was only one enemy, and 100 Lotus was actually very good, because she can even use this 2 times in a row. Remember, she gets 4 BP per turn, on turn 2 she can use this again. But if the moment comes, she can use it just for 100 Lotus. Although she competes with Monica on this, Monica has 100 Lotus as well, and she actually can use it by inheritance of another style. This one has the attack, 100 Lotus, and if you inherit into the next version, she can use 2 times as well. Her intelligence here is a little lower, so there's that. Then let's get back into Diana. The selling point of this character is actually the last skill, called Prayer for Peace. It is an 8 PP spell that it's support, it's not fast, but it will cure all surviving allies from all types of status ailments, will also recover HP by very small effect. That should be around 160 or something. If you are using her together with Matriarch Paean of Peace, it can get to as much as 350 on max value. And then she will also buff all surviving allies, endurance, and will by up to 25%. This is a combination of resisting physical and magical attacks. Well, there are some characters that can buff will, or end, or heal, or cleanse, and I'll try to make some comparisons to explain why Diana is viable or not. Well, first of all, we have Halloween Princess White Rose. We use her because of 2 reasons. She buffs everyone's will when she gets attacked, or even when she evades. This has been so useful to negate status ailments and reduce magical attacks damage by a lot. She also buffs her will on the start of a turn, so she herself does not get inflicted with ailments most of the time, although her will is lower than Diana, for example, even her endurance too. She does not have a damage reduction passive, so she's kinda getting old. When we use her, for example, on the egg battle, she takes kinda almost double the damage than some other characters, so this has becoming a concern. But she's not just about that. You can also buff endurance and will, and even love and charisma by the use of Princess Pumpkin's party. This also cleanses, so she is a direct comparison to Diana, at least on this part. Love and charisma are not that important, and if you are bringing Matriarch 3 with her Paean of Peace, you already have enough love and charisma buffs. So the endurance and will part are the most important ones. But there's only one problem. She gets 3 BP per turn. That means that usually you need 3 turns to be able to cast Princess Pumpkin Party. The buff value here is a little higher, reaching 30% instead of 25% from Diana, but Diana will buff more in the long run. There is another character that we can compare, and we should talk about Genryu's Snowy. This one here has his attack called Circulating Hail that also buffs STR and agility, so it's also offensive for some characters that use this status. Will also heal, around 900, but can only be casted 2 times, because it also does damage, so it's a penalty. But besides, he can also buff will by 20%, with 50% of the time. So that means that he will also be increasing your will passively, helping out when you need extra will. There's even more characters. We have also Kylie. Kylie is from the SaGa Soul banner, and he can also buff intelligence with a chance. It's a lower chance than Snowy, but it happens. It's more offensive since this character wants to buff intelligence and will instead of endurance and will. He can cast every 2 turns as well, while also doing damage. It's also a damage dealer with good damage. And the next character is Itoken. He can be used for 2 different things. The first is being a fast support buffer for STR, Dexterity, and Intelligence. So you increase the damage of your party if you want to kill a boss super fast. But you can also use him for Heroes War Song, like many people are using on the Egg Fight, because this one has delay. It will heal around the same values as Diana, will also cleanse and buff love. The love buff is not important. If you're using Matriarch 3, she's already buffing love and charisma enough. But since he also has a chance to heal again because of healing energy, 37% chance means around once every 3 turns, he is actually very valuable. He can also buff everyone's BP with 25% chance, so there's plenty of different values for this character. But then, sometimes you may not need a token. It will depend on the situations. Diana is buffing Endurance and Will. Depending if the boss is doing too much damage and buffing strategies are kind of a way to sustain, then she may help you alongside Metroid. I don't think she can buff enough by herself. That's something you should just forget about. You need to bring Metroid with either Paean of Peace or Paean of Victory, and Diana is here as an extra buffer to support the team. But sometimes this will help you remove one character. Like I was saying, well, on the egg fight, I had to bring iToken and Halloween Princess White Rose together. One to buff Will, another one to heal. But there's one problem. Because Egg attacks most of the time with random attacks, my Halloween Princess White Rose was not triggering her passive, only using her Princess Pumpkin Party. And I already have the important status here, Endurance and Will, and can cleanse here as well. And I even have the extra heal that helped me remove my token. And then I can bring someone else, a Screw Guard user, another type of damage reduction character like the newest Goddess. There are some options, so depending on the situations, Diana may be a good option. But in other ones, you still bring iToken, you still bring Halloween Princess White Rose, but it's just one extra character that will be added in the meta as one of the best supports in the game. So yeah, Diana, in my opinion, is a must-have for those that like hard challenges because they will need to change characters according to situations. That's why I value her so much. And now I want to talk about inheritances. We have some options, but they are not that important. Well, Floral Extravaganza can also instant kill and can be used 3 times in a row if there's only one target on the wave. It's better than using Floral Lotus, but we hardly have this type of situation where we can instant kill 3 waves. There is Thorn Prism. This one is very strong, triple S attack, but 12 BP seems a little prohibitive. She cannot use on turn 1 anyway. For her limited S style, we have a Sheep attack that can poison, and she can use it anytime. Medium chance is actually pretty okay. And then we have her A style that can stun for Kazinsi, Paralyze for Rio Queen, and then she also can amplify Light Speed to become Light Speed Plus that deals B damage, 4 BP, and can buff her agility by up to 25%. Should you be using Light Speed Plus? I don't think so. She should just stay with her Prayer of Peace and then sometimes use Wild Rose in emergency situations. That's why I don't think that she actually needs any type of inheritance when used on hard challenges, only if you want to use her for some specific challenges or farming. Well, Diana will receive a triple S grade because just like all the support units we discussed, they are also there. We barely have options for support. This game is all about damage dealers, so when we get a support unit that can fit in the meta, it makes some very good change. The next character is Darque, and in my opinion, he's one of the best characters in the game, especially for pierce damage. He has access to many different types of skills, rotations, and specialties. Well, there is one S style that comes from Tower inside the game, that's a permanent event. Then we got a Welfare style that returns from time to time. Then a UDX1 that returned many times called Guild Master. Then we got this Reviving the Guild that's actually recent, released alongside one version of Gustav. And now Assassination from above. I guess we can compare the status of the last 2 versions. So we have around the same endurance, inferior dexterity, but a little higher agility. As you can see, they kind of switched out the values. Much higher intelligence, and he actually uses this. Around the same will, and love and charisma really don't matter. This version of Darque is focused on 3 different status, as you can see, dexterity, agility, and intelligence. And all the status are high. He doesn't suffer from status distribution like many recent styles from SaGa Soul Banners. Although his endurance is 63%, it can take some damage from physicals, but it's not that much of a problem because he has access to high protect tension. His will is okay, so that he does not get inflicted just right on start if you are bringing other buffers. If you want to bring him to farm, you can try his UDX for double arrows on dexterity, and double arrows on you can find on the latest one. Now for passives, we have Evasive Energy 1. When being attacked, he has 25% chance to evade any sort of attack, and he also gets 1 BP on the end of a turn. It is an evolution of some passives we saw in the past, because we started with 25% chance to evade. Some other characters have 37, there are even others that have 50%, but they rely on all other characters being alive or being on full HP. So 25% is a good value because it also gets plus 1 BP. Now the second passive is called Surprise Attack. Weak attacks will increase by 20%, and when landing a weak attack, he will also grant the target defense down. Small effect that lasts for 2 turns. Well, first of all, defense down stacks. It's not like guard down that does not stack. It says small effect. I did some research on JP, and this passive is exclusive to global, so there's no way to understand the value without testing. When I was testing, the damage increased directly by 5%, but I don't know if this is added in the start or the end of the calculation. So on JP, there are characters that can receive defense down as a penalty, and there it says 15%. So it's either 15 or 5%, but in the end, it increased the damage by 5% with 1 stack and 10% with 2 stacks. Then the last passive is called High Protect Tension, increasing damage at all times by 20%, and the damage that he receives will be reduced by 30%. So nice that he has damage passive. This is important for future content. And he has extra 4 BP and can increase damage by 40% when attacking weak targets. He covers both Pierce and Shadow, so at least he will be using for weak attacks most of the time, right? Now, let's move to skills. The first one is called Stab in the Back. For only 1 BP, you get Deep Power Attack that has 13 mod, pretty okay. And it also buffs his dexterity by up to 25% on max level. That is actually very nice. We need to talk more about the skill later as well, because it's just not as good for him, but also for his fast style. Then the second one is called Fatal Trap, a 6 VP attack, and this one has AoE damage with Pierce and Shadow. It's not as strong, it's only deep power, but it carries critical damage against humans and beastmen, and also a chance to instant kill. So now, he gets 4 VP per turn. He can actually use Fatal Trap 3 times in a row. With 100% intelligence and even bonuses, he's going to work in that stages where you can use instant kill in 3 waves. But where are those stages in the game? The game does not want us to keep using this. We did on the start of the Neidhart, but then on the next episodes, they just block an instant kill. So it seems good on paper, but on execution, it will be useful just here and there in small occasions. But even then, if you are hitting for the critical damage, it's pretty okay and strong because of the critical. Then the third attack is called Instant Kill, but it does not carry instant kill chances. It's a fast attack, single target with 4S, it's actually on the start of the 4S formula, and gives critical damage against humans and beastmen again. When attacking humans and beastmen, the damage will be very high. When not attacking them, I have to say that while the damage is good, it may not be so good as you think, because as a penalty by having only 8 BP on the coast, he takes recoil damage of 80% of his max HP. And that is why, my friends, they gave him the chance to evade, because they want you to use this attack instant kill and then rely on evasion to survive till you actually heal. Because this one is fast, it's also good for farming, but a problem in boss fights, because many healers won't attack before a boss. So he loses HP, and then your healer will only heal him after he died. And that is a problem because he loses all of his status buff that he has been using. So, interesting for farming, not as good for boss fights. But now I want to talk about Inheritance, because you don't need to rely on instant kill all the time. You can go for his S style and inherit Mega Thrust Plus by Amplify. It's a triple S attack with 59 mod, and since he gets 8 BP every 2 turns, you can actually just use normal attack and then Mega Thrust, or stab in the back and then Mega Thrust. Also, we have his past version with Golden Note. This one uses 9 BP and triple S power at 68 mod. It's stronger, but it's using even more BP. I don't know, depending on the situations, it's better to stick with Mega Thrust. From his S style, he can also use Paralyzing Trust. This one can debuff Dexterity, and since his intelligence is 100% and even has bonus, he can be used as a very good Dexterity debuffer. Besides, there are other inheritance like Sword Ballet that's actually better on his UDX style that has access to more BP. And there is also a Sheepy we attack with throwing knives, but this one is not that interesting since he already has Fatal Trap and can use this 3 times in a row. Also, just like Gianna, he can inflict poison from his S style, so medium chance to apply, but in this case he uses 6 BP, so still okay, but there's hardly any time where you will need poison for real. Okay, so now we need to discuss how to play with Darque and where does he shine more than his past style. That's still pretty powerful. This one even has higher dexterity, so why were they aiming with this version of Darque? Actually, they want you to have both. If you want to start the fight with instant kill, if there's only one wave, pretty nice. It's a fast attack, he will even apply surprise attack, increasing the damage of everyone that goes after him. Good, right? Even covers 2 elements. If you want to go for a very long fight, you will bring this version of Darque. And remember, this one buffs dexterity when attacking, gets dexterity and will on the start of a turn, and now imagine if you just inherit stab in the back, you'll be able to buff dexterity 3 times on the same turn. That's right, that's a lot. And after that, you can just nuke with Golden Note, or even Bloody Harvest if you need to hit a column. This is very useful on Deathmaster Remembrance, because you can hit all the minions that Deathmaster calls. And this version of Darque buffing will can even receive less damage than the newest one, because buffing will reduce magical attacks. But if you are against a boss that actually does physical, even though his endurance is low, he would take less damage because of high contact tension. So there is even more utility. If you want to use your Darque in events with plenty of waves, you can inherit Fatal Trap into the past version. If he attacks a critical enemy, that means human or beastman, he can keep using this AoE attack forever. Although it's not as strong, at least it covers 2 elements. And the last thing, instant kill gives critical damage against humans and beastmen, right? Now, what about inheriting this into the past Darque that gets 3 BP when he lands a critical attack? You will be able to use this many times in a row, like at least 2 times in a row for farming, if you are facing beastmen or humans, or if you want to fight in a very long fight and you want to take some risks. This will be very strong, because unlike Mega Trust or Golden Note, you will be getting plus 3 BP back. So that's all the different setups that you can use Darque. You will need these 2 versions at least. The UDX one is not even important, although the UDX one will guarantee that you will be able to use instant kill 2 times in a row against enemies that are not humans or beastmen. See, that's very nice to have all versions of Darque. You just adapt to the scenarios, and he adds even more strategies and utility to a character that's already pretty strong because of the past version. Bloody Harvest is nice because it's indirect, it's double S power, and doesn't cost much, and when landing criticals, it just triggers this passive that gives him even more BP. So this Darque is gonna receive a medium double S grade in our tier list. He is strong, but he's kinda reliant on having another style. His nuke is strong as well, but not as good as Rook, as Rufus, as Joe. They do much more damage, although their penalty is even worse. Being paralyzed loses all types of damage reduction passives and skills. So instant kill is good, but you should not compare to them. But still, I really like this version of Darque. Summoned on the banner got him, but because I have been investing on the character. And the last character on the banner, Neidhart. We have 6 different styles of Neidhart in the game. The first S style is actually limited, but now they are added in the off banner, so you'll be able to get it easily. Then we have this Platinum S style. Then the first limited KF Black Demon. The first Platinum May Lore Protect You. Then the first UDX, and only time to risk your life. And now Seeking the Truth. Well, we can compare the UDX1 with the current, and we have around the same STR, just 2% more. A much higher endurance, 12% more. Dexterity is a little less, but will not affect him that much. He has higher agility, intelligence does not matter, a little more will, and that's it. So the status are better overall, across the board, especially for endurance and will. He gets double arrows for will, even bonuses. Only one arrow for STR with bonuses for that too. I think that he tries to cover too many things, so he kinda has a very low dexterity. He may even miss sometimes against very hard challenges. You will need to buff him. That's right. So if you want other status, like if you want double arrows for STR, you can find that in his limited style. If you want big endurance, you can find on his platinum one. Well, for passives we have Strength and Attack 2, damage increases by 15% and starts the fight with 12 BP, allowing him to use his best nuke on turn 1. Then the second one is called Solid Defense. On the start of a turn, he grants himself a damage block that lasts for the same turn and one time only. That means that the first hit that hits Neidhart will be totally negated, but Neidhart can knock out. So you need to place him on a formation where it increases the chance of him being attacked, and if a boss attacks with not many attacks and they are single target based, and Neidhart blocks the first one, that is actually his best strategy. It's gonna help the party with that. But not just that, he also has a defense up for 5 times. Each time it will reduce the damage by 10%, so reaching 50. So this is his selling point actually, but he does have something else in his sleeves. The third passive is called Spear Arcana 4. When using Spear, damage increases by 20%. When landing a weak attack, increases by another 20. So on max potential we have 55 or 35 when not attacking weak targets. Okay, moving on to skills, we have Skewer, a 0 BP attack that hits a row of foes for 9 mod. It's actually very nice if you are using him against Death Master Remembrance, so you can save and then later attack the boss instead of just keeping using your best attacks against the minions. But it's not so strong. Then the second skill is part of his kit. Gallantry is a global exclusive skill that is fast, so it goes before everyone, and grants 2 effects to the party. First, Heat Up, increasing damage by 10% to everyone, and it will last for the whole fight. And Defense Up to everyone, even himself, so he reaches 60% and gives 10% to everyone. Well, a Holy Stun abates all decreases damage by 10% as well, so you are kinda getting one extra effect. But Gallantry is not Skungard. Skungard decreases damage by 20%, and we have the latest Gustav, we have Zeke, we have Final Impress, we have Jamil. Skungard will still help more reducing damage than just this defense up. And then it also costs 3 LP, that means that you can only use this once in a fight, and you are also more fragile if he dies, but he should not be dying too much. If he dies, you're probably using him on the wrong content. And the last attack is called Swooping Dragon Plus. This is a 12 EP attack, so he can use on turn 1 with 4 S damage, pretty strong already, and it also recovers HP by around 1000. So yeah, you're gonna bring him in a fight, and the turn 1 you will not be using Swooping Dragon. You should be using Skewer or something else by inheritance. So if you start the fight, you're probably gonna use Gallantry right off the bat, and then after that you're gonna use the Skewer for some time or some other inheritance skill, and then Swooping Dragon when you need HP heal. That is his main gameplay. Another thing about Neidhart, and I don't want to overlook this like I did with Robin Liz, Neidhart is capable of soloing content, but with type of content? Sputtle Tower number 150, because, well, that boss attacks only once. It's an AoE attack, but people can die just fine. You can place it on the Desert Lens X formation that even increases his will and endurance and his damage, and because he will be negating one hit, he just won't take damage till that boss start attacking twice, and when that happens, you will be able to heal. And also by that time he will have plenty of defense ups stacked. He will be able to solo even if it takes plenty of time. He will probably be able to solo Kazinsi as well, by the same ideas. But I don't know if this is so worth in the future, because this type of content is kinda double with other units. Maybe for new players that want to skip some of these hard contents with a cheesable character, this can help them. Well, he can inherit some stuff, but they made it hard for it to work well. In his UDX style, he has Piercing Slash. This is a 0 VP attack, so it's better to use instead of Skewer if there's only one target. It buffs his SDR, so he's gonna do more damage with his Swooping Dragon later. But there's another attack that's nice, Chivalrous Assault. For 11 VP, you get an A-power AoE attack that buffs Will by 40%. But he does not get access to more than 3 VP per turn. That means that he needs to wait between 3 to 4 turns to use this, so he will not matter too much. Like Diana and other characters that I explained on this video, they can buff Will much more times in a row and they will actually protect you from the humans, while Chivalrous Assault will not protect you on the newest style. It will still be good when using with the UDX style since this one has 4 VP per turn. And similarly, there is this Neidhart Kif attack that buffs in instead of Will, but again, it takes too much VP. And from his UDX, you still have multi-thrust, but this one is 7 VP, it's not as good with him. So the best inheritance is Piercing Slash from his UDX style, and only that. So that you can buff your SDR while you are tanking and then reaching nuke potential with Swooping Dragon. That is the gameplay of this Neidhart. There's nothing else to say about this character. I find him a little underwhelming because he needed something else. I know he opens the fight giving defense up, but that's it. For that, you will need to rely on a boss attacking him to trigger his block and cannot taunt. So you can only use him on specific formations for full potential. If he's not taking damage but everyone else is dying, what exactly is he offering in a hard content? I don't know. And so I don't think he plays a big part in the hard challenges and will only receive a medium grade in our double S tier list. So now back to the banner image. Is this banner worth summoning for? Well, in my opinion, for veterans, yes. If you want to pursue very hard challenges, Diana is yet another tool that will help you dealing, especially with egg or other types of bosses. Then if you already have the past version of Darque, you get more utility by summoning for this one. So the value is already here. Even if you don't care about Neidhart, it's an okay banner to summon for. Now for veterans, I don't know if this is so good because you can summon on the rerun banners that have 10% drop rates. You'll be able to get much more from there, and you can just keep using Halloween Princess White Rose for now. She will probably work for you before you reach very hard challenges. So this banner will receive a silver award. I summoned it and got all these characters. I'll be showcasing them from now on. Thank you so much for watching this video. What's your opinion on this banner? Have you summoned it for? Please see here on the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to join our Discord server with the links in the description of the video. We talk about UniverSe and other games in general. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.